Do you think
didn't
that
like
no? But
Pretend
honestly, Nick, do you think that is Joel Haver a beta cuck?
No.
So Joel Haver, filmmaker, YouTuber, in 2024, he put himself out for the challenge to make 12 feature-length films by the end of the year, and he did that. He made those. And then this fucking guy over here is like,
So hold on.
they're not real films.
He made 12 very long YouTube videos for sure. I agree.
Ooh,
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
That's cold,
So,
dude.
Nick,
Yeah,
what would you define
I
as
think
what is a
that's-
movie?
Okay.
What is a
I will
film?
not. So they are movies technically.
Okay, there we go.
But they just don't feel like movies. That's all I was saying. They genuinely don't have a movie feel. They're not very cinematic. He doesn't hire
What is a-
cinematographers for
what
like
is
the
a
large
movie?
What
majority
does a
of them.
movie feel though? Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can't
There's
just say
there's
it
a-
doesn't feel like a movie and then
There's
just
a
end
very
it there.
cinematic look that films have, and that even like a lot of YouTubers can like uphold. Like if you've seen like channels like Almost Friday TV, like all their sketches are like of way higher quality than Joel Haver's.
I'd say
as
some
far
of
as
their
aesthetics.
sketches.
The sketch that Almost Friday did about making fun of the intros to Netflix stand-up comedians.
was
insane.
That was
So
fucking
good.
Yeah.
It looked amazing, and it was so funny.
But like
So
my
I'll
point
definitely
is,
give them that.
and I love Joel Haver. I think he's a great YouTuber. I think I've watched his videos for years, but I think he should have put more time and effort and made less movies. That's really my main point.
So you're going quality over quantity.
100%.
Well, I don't even understand how quantity makes them less movies. Like Adam
Yeah.
Sandler shits out like some fucking disaster every like year, but those count as movies. So what about those are so different to say like Joel Haver films? Like because I mean I didn't get a chance to watch
I think it's
all of them,
disappointing.
but I'm familiar enough with Joel Haver to know that there's a personality behind these films at the end of the day. Like there's someone who's really passionate.
But
and
that's
you can
but I
see
think-
that through a lot of the production value and a lot of the the writing and performing and stuff. Like they're just as much movies as anything else. Like I'm really the type of person to be as liberal as I can with the term art. And these are just as much art as any other Hollywood production. So like who the fuck cares if it took him
Okay,
a month
let's
to
look at
make
it-
each movie for 12 months? Like
let's look at
it
it
is
this
what
way.
it is.
There's something you just said that kind of is sort of my point, and that's that he's a very big personality and he has a lot of himself in these films, right?
Yep.
Which I agree with. I think there's a lot of him in these movies, and I think that they're very much his style of humor, which is kind of like dry, weird humor. But if somebody didn't know who he was, nobody would like these movies.
I
If you
agree,
didn't-
I
if-
agree with that.
I don't even
I agree
think
with
that's
that.
true.
I
Because
didn't.
there
I
are
didn't.
plenty
But
of
I
just-
didn't watch all of them. I watched a little bit of some of it.
I think he wouldn't have
agree
as
with
much
Nick
of
on
a
there.
he wouldn't have as much of a reach, obviously, because that's how.
I think
as
if
many
these
people
were
see
showing
his
at a film
stuff.
festival, they would be not near placing in any way, shape, or form.
And also, no, think about it this way, guys. Like, if any one of us decided to do that with channels being our size, like sub 10K, it would be the same reaction that Nick is talking about right now. It would do nothing. Nobody's gonna watch
Yeah.
those movies unless they're coming from a big YouTuber they already know and like.
I mean, sure, but you guys are trying to measure success as like the amount of people, which I don't think. Honestly, Joel was making movies before he was popular and was just doing it because he wanted to do it. It just the fame came afterwards. So like I don't know. I don't really know what the argument is at this time.
My argument is that I think it's kind of pointless to put these time constraints on art. Like, and
Yeah.
I have personal experience with that. I was telling you guys, I joined a songwriting club. There was like 30 songwriters in New York City, and the whole point of it was to make an entire new song by each Thursday of the week. You had to submit it by 12. There was a deadline, and if you didn't do it, you would get kicked out of the group. I did it for 52 days, so I did it for 52 weeks, an entire year, and I had 52 songs by the end of it, and I only ever released one of those songs because I was just trying to get it done without really focusing on it and taking my time with it. Only one of them was really something I could salvage and release to the public, So I
just
No,
wish he has so many resources available, so many like favors he can call in, so much he can do, and this is the best he can do. I said so. I'd watched 3 of the movies. I watched The Diarrhea Brothers Save the Day. I watched Love Celeste, and I watched Coming Home. And I went back and watched another one, which was Your Point Girl. And
I haven't seen any of those ones yet.
so I wasn't impressed by a single one of them. I've given him a shot. Like, I don't understand what I'm sure he should feel proud of himself.
It doesn't
But-
matter if it doesn't matter if you don't think they're good. Like, that doesn't matter. That's not the question.
Yeah.
The question isn't like, did you like them? The question
But if
is,
they're
are
not
they
good, then
movies?
why?
Are they film? Then yeah, like, but they're just as
Why
much
make
films as
films at
anything
all
else.
if
Like, yeah,
they're
like,
not all
yeah, like,
perfect?
what's the? You're saying like, oh, why
But I'm-
make 12 movies
okay,
in
but
12
when I
months when
say-
you can make 3? But like, that's not the point. He did it
But my
because he
obvious-
wanted to, and he could. Yeah. So
So listen, my
No,
point obviously.
the point he did. The point was that he wanted to do a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I can
It
make
is a
12
gimmick.
movies
He even-
in a
when
year.
it came
That's
out, he said, I want to challenge myself by trying to see if I can do 12 in a single year, because he
because
has
he wants to make ad
years-
revenue on 12 videos instead
No,
of
he
fucking
doesn't. He
one
took
video.
that's some bullshit.
No.
He took fucking
I don't
a
think
hit
so.
this year. He took so much. He got so much less money. He's like, I've just been living off Patreon money for the last year, basically just paying the people to be in his films as friends to take time off work. He
Yeah.
used to make one short film every week, or a short skit, whatever you want to call them. And he was making so much money. And then he's like, well, I am in a comfortable position where I want to just make as much like as many movies as I possibly can and challenge myself. I'm going to be making less money. So you can't say he's doing it to try to profit, because he's making
I don't think it's
significantly
purely
he
about
also just
profit.
said- yeah, he also just straight up said, like, he made a video before he took on this challenge where he was like, look, I'm not going to make as much money as I did because I'm making 12 videos in 12 months instead of like how many videos he makes per week or something like that. So like, he's not doing it out of like, is it a gimmick? Sure, you could say that, but it's still something he wanted to do. Like, it's still an artistic challenge he's putting himself to go through, and he ended up doing it. Whether or not those movies are good at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. What matters is he put himself in a creative endeavor and he followed through, and that's more than most people can say. You know, most people can say, hey, I want to start a band, or hey, I want to write a novel, or hey, I want to do this and that, but they just don't end up doing it. He did it, and you got to give him respect for that. And these are just as much movies as anything else that comes out of Hollywood. Like, art when it comes to art and just cinema or whatever these days, that is as open-ended as whatever you want. And in my perspective, from my worldview, movies are just as much film, and these films are just as much part of the craft of filmmaking and our art as literally anything else that comes out in theaters that we pay money to go see.
no,
It's- I don't-
Tim. We
it's
have
just the same, yeah.
an arbiter on this, and it's Martin Scorsese. So if
Of
Martin
course, yeah.
Scorsese says it's a real movie, it's a real movie. It's cinema.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he would. I think Marty would be on my side. I honestly do.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's like,
but
no
here's-
Marvel movies,
Listen here.
they don't suck.
Even
dick."
even if he's making a movie a month, why is he not hiring a cinematographer, like good sound department, like people who are actually he could bring more people in to like show off their work. It's not even just about like his own work. Like, he could bring in other people who could like show their craft if he's making 12 movies. There's not that much film work right now.
He likes doing the cinematography on his own. He has said that he likes doing that, and he likes the way he can shoot it. And I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with his sound mixing. I think it's fine. Like, it's perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing
I mean, you
technically
could
wise.
give
Yeah,
him- Yeah, you
How?
could give him like $1 million, and I'm sure he could make a technically perfect movie. But I don't think he really cares about that. He's like, I just want to make a movie, and then when I'm done with that, I want to go make another movie. Like,
Maybe I just respect that less than y'all do or something. I mean,
I think that's fucking. Here's the thing, there is such a gatekeeping and level, like, high barrier of entry that is just like, it's not real. It's all this like perception we've created around what a movie is, where people in Hollywood are like, wow, look how cheap this movie is, and it's $1 million fucking dollars. And it's like, you'll never see $1 million in your life, but that's considered super low budget, where the general public, general person, anybody that's wanting to create a movie in their entire life will look at that and go like, well, I can't make a movie because Hollywood says so, or all of this stuff says so. Whereas if you look at any other art form, like painting or writing.
I don't think that
you
that's
can
true,
just go.
man. I mean,
pick
I think
up
there is a
piece of
game.
paper and write a story. You can go pick up a paintbrush and make a painting. A 5-year-old can draw a picture with a crayon, and that's considered, oh, look at this little piece of artwork my kid made. But for films, no, that's not okay.
Yeah,
because
but
they want us to have a level of gatekeeping on it. I
Yeah,
just think it's
Nobody can stop you from making a movie. And my whole point is, he is a person that has so many resources at his hand, like at his fingertips. So he could break that seal. Like, you know what I mean? And if he actually made something good, that would stand out and make a difference. But these movies aren't going to make a difference for fucking anything,
I think
because
they
they're
made a
not
difference for a lot of
good.
people.
I mean, they might
They've
be
shown
inspiring
me
for young
what
up
I
and
can
coming
do.
filmmaker. Yeah, it's inspiring for young up and coming filmmakers who are like, look, maybe I can't make a movie because I need this amount of money, or I need to work with this specific amount of crew members who can do this and that. Like, it's ambitious in the sense that he's doing a lot of small scale independent filmmaking on his own. He's making a feature every month, and it proves that, you don't need this massive budget, or not even a small budget. You don't even need $2 million, $3 million or whatever. You can just make something. You can write a
But
script. You can make it with your
there's good
friends, and you
movies
can
that are
shoot and edit
small
everything
budget
on your
movies.
own.
Blue Ruin was made with like $400,000. Like,
Yeah, that's
fucking
a shit ton of money.
No, but
yeah, fucking.
Yeah,
Ethan,
it's a lot of
you were
money.
talking about how every other art form has less of a barrier to entry, or you said
Yeah.
Hollywood imposes that, but that's not necessarily true, because compared to like songwriting, especially nowadays, is something that you can do entirely by yourself with a MacBook and instruments. But filmmaking is now, and always has been, a highly collaborative art form that does cost. The barrier to entry is financial, because if you want to make a movie that looks good and cinematic and have good actors in it and have good shot composition and all that stuff, you need money, and you need people around you to help you do it, to help
I disagree.
make your vision come to life. I mean,
disagree.
you can do it by yourself, I guess,
Exactly.
but like
That's the thing.
it has been like all of your favorite films, your top 10 list, they were highly collaborative, and they took a lot of money to make. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the thing is that's why I think we're in such a cool change in the perception of like the industry as a whole. Is like everyone like you're like, well, you need a camera, you need equipment, you need extra people. You could make a movie by yourself. It might be not is exactly what you're imagining in your head, but you could take your phone and you could go film a shot. You could play two characters, or just be yourself. And
People have done that
by
too.
yourself.
Fucking Tangerine had a fucking micro budget, and it was filmed on iPhones, and it looked 10,000 times better than anything Joel Haver
I haven't
made.
seen
Yeah, but that's
Tangerine.
just as much a film as all these movies that Joel Haver has made. Like, I don't
Sure,
see
but
what
it's
the
not. But they're not
difference is.
good.
Yeah, like,
You just don't. You seem hung up on the fact that it doesn't
that's
look
not the
cinematic
point.
enough.
Like, it doesn't.
It doesn't
yeah,
look
doesn't
cinematic.
matter
The
if
scripts feel very lazy. The stories are fucking lazy. Like,
I disagree with this
what-
laziness.
I just don't have
I
any
never feel
positive
lazy.
things to say about them, and I really wanted to like his stuff because I liked his YouTube channel. I liked his shorts. I liked all the stuff he made.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not on the tip of saying that they're not real movies. I don't think that that's like a helpful way to label things, real or not. I don't even know if Nick is doing that necessarily.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they don't feel like, okay, maybe I'm wording it wrong. Because what I was saying was they don't feel like real movies to me. That isn't that they're not technically movies. Of course they're technically movies, but they don't feel of very high value to me. Like, I don't hold them to very high regard.
Like, yeah, when if someone says I made 12 movies in 12 months, that makes me feel like you obviously didn't put a lot of work into each one of them, because you just couldn't have. You really there's not enough time for you to write an entire script, hire your entire crew in 30 days, like from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. You have to have cut a lot of corners to get that done, and to me that makes me not really want to check it out. I think that's fair. No.
I mean, some of them, sure, but like, I mean, for example, like the first one he did was he's like, I wanted to go out just on a softball easy one, so he filmed, I think, over a week. He just filmed a found footage movie about a character who's like a homeless guy living in his hometown. So that one's easy to film. But then I haven't seen it fully yet, but Hello, My Beautiful Creatures. He fully took 2.5, 3 months to film a stop motion movie in that 12 months. That was the majority of the time. It's janky looking, but I don't know, a fucking 2.5 hour stop motion features doesn't really scream low effort to me.
Well, I haven't seen them all, so maybe there might be some gems in there that I haven't seen, and I'll bite my tongue. But I mean, I'll watch some more of them. But I feel like I've watched
that's the
4
thing.
of them.
That's
I've
not what
given
I'm
it a
getting at.
shot.
I'm not saying that you have to like them. I just think to disregard them as like actual art is a little reductive.
Yeah, I'm just getting
think-
annoyed about the whole like, oh, these movies are bad, or like that. Again, our point is these are movies by definition, just as much as like if we can count.
I
I'm not.
agree with that,
I'm not
yeah.
arguing that.
Yeah.
Nobody's arguing that.
Okay, then I guess I just don't know what we're arguing about then, because I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was what you were arguing against.
I never said they weren't movies. I said they don't feel like movies, and I think that was maybe a bad way to word what I was saying. But like,
You all know what he's talking about, though. You know what he
Sure, I
means.
think he thinks
when he
it-
says it
it
looks like
doesn't
a
look
YouTube video
expensive.
over a movie. Yeah, like you can tell. It feels that way. You know when you throw it
but
on.
that's because we've had 100 years of incredibly expensive movies of just like that's the only way. Because back in the 70s, not anybody could make a movie, and film was incredibly expensive. You only have a very
Clerks
small
was shot
handful.
on Clerks
We
was shot on
also-
film
I'm
for like
saying-
$40,000.
When was Clerks? 2000.
Yeah,
It was like
Okay,
1999
I'm not
or
saying,
something.
but I'm saying that like the further back you go, the harder it was to make something. And now we're at a period where everyone has a video camera in their pocket.
and there's like a million.
Yeah.
He's in fucking LA. There's like a million cinematographers who would love to fucking work on his film.
Yeah.
I think it's just a you problem. I don't mind the way they look. I think they look fine.
Yeah, I just like, you know, if you don't like the way they look, that's fine. I'm just, but that. I guess I'm just getting hung up on the whole they don't feel like movies, which I know you said is not the correct way to say it, but I don't know, like
I just don't know how to word what I'm trying to say because they don't look cinematic. They don't sound very good. Like, it doesn't feel like a high quality movie.
All right. Well, let me pose this question: would you rather, Nick particularly, would you rather have watched a Joel Haver movie that he said, "I'm going to spend 12 months to make one movie"? You know, doesn't that sound more appealing to you? Personally, that's what I would want to see from any filmmaker.
I would love that.
Because, like
Oh,
I said
yeah,
before,
for sure.
film is one of the most difficult mediums to really get to put your vision to life, because it takes so much time, it takes money, it takes so much people working together. There's music that you have to get. Like it's basically every art form that you can imagine put into one thing.
like,
you know,
Another example off the top of my head, like did y'all grow up watching? I don't know, it might be too old for y'all, but like Derek Comedy. Any of y'all?
Derek
with,
who?
Derek Comedy with fucking what's his fucking name? Childish Gambino. What's his fucking real name?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, that was
Donald
his
Glover.
sketch. That was his sketch comedy group on YouTube, and they were really fucking popular on YouTube. And they actually got funding for their movie off of like YouTube. Basically, they got like $1 million funding, filmed their movie called Mystery Team, and it was really funny. It was like a really fucking funny movie. But, like, Joel Haver was a big enough name that he could have gotten funding to make a movie if he wanted to. He doesn't have those same constraints you're talking about that all these filmmakers have. Joel doesn't have those. He could just be like, hey, look how fucking popular my YouTube is. Fucking give me $500,000 to make a movie, and somebody would fucking do it.
And from everything I've seen from him, though, he seems like he's aggressively independent. Like he wants everything that he does to be outside of the Hollywood system, which is totally commendable. I think that's fine.
I
You
think
can
that's
find
more than
independently
fair.
wealthy people outside of Hollywood that will give you money to make a movie. There's a ton of people that did it. They did it for fucking Evil Dead. They did it for so many fucking movies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he wants to prove that he can do it without. But I mean, I guess my point here is that he's not Sean Baker. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Sure,
should take
he's
a little
Joel
bit of
Haver.
money.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of your problems, Nick, VHS Nick, is like it doesn't look expensive enough. Like it doesn't look like the cinematography is good enough. The sound isn't good enough. The whatever other thing. I think those are the main two things.
It just doesn't seem like he cared about these movies, like on an individual
I think he
level.
fucking does care because he spent like I don't know every time I've watched one
I think
of his
he cared
films,
about
I've
hitting
never
his
thought
12-month
he
thing.
didn't care. Oh, of course that was. But you're talking specifically about that. If you go out of the 12, I'd say probably the one you have the best chance of really liking is "Pretend That You Love Me," which he made
I
over
did
the
watch
course
that
of a
one.
year and a half. You did?
Yep. It was
You
okay.
didn't like that one?
It was okay.
That
And-
one's fucking phenomenal.
So maybe
I don't
the
know.
issue is that you just don't like Joel Haver, Nick.
Yeah.
I do like his sketch comedy. I think I haven't watched anything like long form that he's done that I've liked all that much.
Do you
you
think
didn't
that?
like
No,
Pretend
but
That You Love Me?
honestly, Nick, do you think that is Joel Haver a beta cuck?
I don't think so. He seems like a nice guy.
Okay. Well,
What the fuck are we talking about?